happy birthday, and here's a serving of someone else's spit. Has anyone else seen the videos of someone blowing out the candles on their birthday cake in slow motion and just watched all of the spit droplets go all over that cake and been totally grossed out? Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make a replica fake birthday cake that you can use to put candles in, blow out to your heart's content, and then have another cake for serving in the back. Honestly, it is such a great idea that you will always have a beautiful cake that everyone can see, and then have a not so glamorous cake and perhaps a cheap alternative out in the kitchen, and no one's going to know the difference anyway. For more videos on how to make fake foods, props, and other types of decor, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell next to the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all my future uploads. Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny and I am that props girl. We are jumping straight in today and we are making a basic fake sponge cake for our birthday cake today. And if you wanted to see something a little bit more complex like a drip cake or something really fancy, let me know in the comments down below and I can certainly make that for you guys. So I'm going to be starting with some styrofoam dummy cake rounds, and I'm using the thin ones. You can buy these in bigger ones as well. I like to use these smaller ones and glue them together because it gives you the ability to vary out your size and your height. Completely up to you what you'd like to use, but I'm going to go through with some hot glue and glue them together now. I decided to do this video this week because I actually did have my birthday this week, but by the time you will be seeing this video, my birthday will be over. But I thought it's a really interesting concept trying to have a COVID-safe birthday cake. Now, as I've said in my previous cake making videos, I do recommend painting the styrofoam before you put your icing on. And that's just because I've learned from experience that if you happen to chip the outer shell of the icing, it's not going to be nearly as obvious if the underside is painted in the same color as well. Obviously, if you're doing a white cake, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. But I actually go into a bit more detail about this in my first fake wedding cake video. So if you wanted to check that out after this one, feel free to go ahead. I'm pretty sure I'm actually wearing this top in that video, so that's a little bit of a coincidence. But anyways, so as this is going to be a chocolate cake, I'm going to go in with a brown paint and just quickly give it a bit of a once over. You can use a sponge or you can use a brush, whatever you want. We're just going to cover it in paint as our first step. It's actually been really interesting because I've been looking up in the news and the popularity of fake cakes has actually skyrocketed over the course of the pandemic because people are looking for fake wedding cakes, and a lot of people are opting to have the bottom tiers of their wedding cake fake and then just have the top one real as the one that they cut, and then out the back in the kitchen is where they've got slab cakes and they just serve that. Now, I said this in my video where I made my semi-naked exposed wedding cake that I actually do need to get a turntable for cakes, but I haven't got one yet, so I've actually just got my Lazy Susan from home and covered it in Glad wrap here just so I can turn the cake around as needed. So that's an option for you if you are like me and don't have a turntable. If you are enjoying this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and bell so you can be notified each time I upload every weekend. And also, while you're there, leave me a comment down below as to what was the best birthday cake you ever got. I have a distinct memory of a Winnie the Pooh birthday cake from my childhood that was absolutely extraordinary. Now that that's dry, I'm going to take my wall filler here and that brown paint that I used before and mix them together to make our icing. So once we've got our icing all nice and creamy there in the right color, we're going to start putting it onto our cake. Now, this is going to look a little bit weird. So I have my Lazy Susan, but I needed to be able to ice the sides without, like, you know, smudging the bottom here. So I've actually got it sitting on a upside down basket just to give it a bit more height and allow me to take the icing right to the edges. So you definitely don't have to do this. This is just my strange method of being able to get to the bottom. So that being said, I'm going to take a clay tool here and I'm just going to start scooping the icing on, and I normally like to start with the top and then work my way down the sides. Now, depending on how homemade you want it to look will depend on obviously the texture that you have around the outside. I want mine to look like a homemade cake, so I'm not too worried about what it looks like here. It can look a little bit patchy and it can look a little bit rough, that's fine. But if you wanted to make it a bit smoother, I would go in with something like this, which is a clay scraper, and just neaten it up a little bit there. Now, if you do find that you have leftover icing, that's totally fine. If you've got it in a container, you can actually just pop a lid on it and it will keep for quite some time. If you watched my video on how to make fake ice cream shakes, I actually used some leftover icing that I had for almost, I think, 6 months, and it was just fine. So it keeps for a really long time so long as it is not exposed to too much air. So as I said, put a lid on it and it will be perfect. Alright, so this is now dry and ready to go, and now I've got a piping bag here, and this has got more wall filler and just a little bit of paint in there to make it a little bit more runny. And I'm going to go in now and do some cream on top. So with this, I'm literally just getting my piping nozzle and I'm pressing it down, letting the icing come out and expand, and then pushing it down and up. Make that sort of little turret there. Now, you don't have to make these as tiny as I have. You can make them bigger or even smaller if you want. You can do writing. This is just the beginning where you can start. I'm gonna go and do this around the bottom now, and hopefully it's gonna look like a real cake when I'm done. Now, if you watched my channel for a little while, then you would know that I have struggled with icing for however long I can remember. I've never been an expert at it, but I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of practice recently, and I feel like I'm finally starting to get better. They say, practice makes perfect. We're not perfect yet. I'm gonna class as a bit more practice. Now, if you watched any of my 2020 Christmas videos, then you would have seen me use these little berries, and they're just on a wire here, and I got them in just a cheap hot dollar store at Christmas time, because I'm going to use them to put some cherries on top. But if you don't have any of these, you can literally just get a toothpick and paint some little small styrofoam balls and then just glue them on top or press them into the wall filler. And also, if you don't want to do that, you can also make them out of air drying clay as well. So I'm just going to put some of these into the top of the little cream turrets on top. I don't know what they're actually called. And that will be done. I actually had quite a bit of the icing in the piping bag left, so I went in and did some more around the top, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It turned out so much better than I thought it was going to. And then to seal it at the end, I went over it as always in some Mod Podge. As I said at the start of this video, this is just a basic type of cake that you can make. The options are really limitless of what you can do. You can stick a candle in the top and blow it out and no one is going to get sick. Or maybe you could even play a prank on someone, whatever takes your fancy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below about the best birthday cake was you ever had. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button and the bell next to the subscribe button so you can be notified of all my future uploads. And if you want to see more of my creations, then head on over to my Instagram and follow me over there. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.